Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Okay, so I'm sure that you've heard by now that the James Webb Telescope detected some kind of alien mothership heading towards the Earth. So I'm going to ask AI what would happen in the first 24 hours once the craft achieves orbit around the Earth.
Imagine waking up to the extraordinary news: an alien craft has been detected orbiting Earth. Governments worldwide would immediately convene emergency meetings, striving to establish communication protocols. Scientists would tirelessly analyze any signals or data, while the public, gripped by a mix of excitement and anxiety, would follow every development. Amidst the initial shock, a profound sense of global unity would emerge as humanity collectively seeks to understand the intentions of these mysterious visitors. This moment would mark the dawn of a new chapter in our cosmic journey.
See? Happy ending. We're all going to be fine, I think.
I think maybe that was programmed to say that because there's a good possibility that a lot of people would lose their minds. They would go crazy. There'd be looting. There'd be lots of chaos going on. That would definitely be an ideal situation.
Well, on the bottom side of the disk are the three gravity generators. When they want to travel to a distant point, the disk turns on its side. The three gravity generators produce a gravitational beam. What they do is they converge the three gravity generators onto a point and use that as a focal point. Then they essentially bring them up to power and pull that point towards the disk. The disk itself will attach onto that point and snap back as they release space back to that point. Now, all this happens in the distortion of time, so time is not incrementing, so the speed is essentially infinite.
So it's like the warp engines on the back of the USS Enterprise when it's all woo, and then it goes. It's like that.
Leading cause of death in the United States is medical intervention. Medical intervention kills about 1 million people a year. Doctors kill over 1 million people a year, and people go to their doctor and think nothing of it. Problem with our medical doctors is that these very good people make the biggest mistake of their life, and they go to medical school. 85% of what they're taught is unscientific nonsense. And then they're cut loose on the general population to practice unscientific nonsense. The medicine we have is now so far behind the science that it is impossible to bring it up to date. We have to take the medicine we have and discard it and start over. Where did we ever get the idea that we can help a sick person if we give them poison? It's a pretty stupid system, but it makes enormous amounts of money, and the drug companies have enormous power. Ayurvedic medicine's about 6,000 years old, Chinese medicine's about 5,000 years old, allopathic medicine's 100 years old. It's already on the way out because it's basically stupid, and it doesn't work, and it's very dangerous. Trauma care and crisis intervention, we're at about 15% of medicine. The other 85% of medicine is basically nonsense.
And this is not new information. The problem is we are so deep in the pockets of these huge companies, big food, big pharma, the FDA, all that stuff. We are in their pockets, and they're not going to give up their money. They're not going to go, oh, you know what? We were wrong. Maybe they will slowly release little bits of information at a time to try to do something, as long as it doesn't hurt their pockets. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. To my new subscribers, welcome. To those of you that have been here for a while, welcome back. Everybody, please hit that like button for me. It'll really help out my channel. And if this is your first time here, won't you consider subscribing? Check it out. Look, we're almost up to 500 subscribers. Then come on back, because I'm making a new episode every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Actual felonies? Because I'm pretty sure that
He was stacking charges and rearranging things just to make it fit a case. No, he actually did the case nonsense. Every real estate person in New York does what he did. Nobody's ever been charging us.
those felonies did nothing to stop Trump from running.
No, in fact, they made him more relevant.
Did that backfire?
Sure did.
And that was that Alvin Bragg's choice to do that? Or
Yeah.
why?
Because Alvin's very ambitious.
What do you mean?
He wants to be, something. I don't know what. Mayor. I'm not saying what he wants to be, but I know he's not happy just being the DA of New York County. So this is like before he decided to prosecute Trump. Did you know who he was? You did now.
What was the point of even doing it then?
To make him a convict.
To make him what?
A convicted felon.
Well, if you can still run for presidency and...
Yeah, but it affects his candidacy.
So I normally don't pay too much attention to politics, but I have noticed that whenever one particular party is in the office, all of their political opponents are under fire. There are hearings being held every single day, all day, to convict political opponents of whatever they can dig up. And it's on both sides. Whoever is in office, all their political opponents are being questioned constantly. And it's a huge money grab because all those people that are there running all of these stupid little things are getting paid. That's why it happens. And that's why certain politicians are like, oh, vote my guy in because I know they're going to have us busy, doing busy work, getting busy pay all day, trying to prosecute these people for nothing. Just nothing. It's a waste of money, and it's stupid.
Facts about cholesterol that'll piss you off. High cholesterol does not cause heart disease. The real cause is inflammation, oxidation, sugar, and stress. 70% of people hospitalized for a heart attack have perfectly normal cholesterol. 50% of people with high cholesterol have healthy heart. Lowering cholesterol has almost nothing to do with extending life. Cholesterol is an indicator of heart disease, one of the greatest scams ever perpetrated on the American public. Life can't go on without cholesterol. It's a basic raw material made by your liver and brain in almost every cell in your body. Cholesterol is converted to vitamin D, as well as estrogen and testosterone, your sex hormones. Lower levels of cholesterol are linked to lower performance in cognitive ability. Those with lower cholesterol levels, much more likely to be admitted to hospitals for infectious diseases. Coenzyme Q10, found in high cholesterol foods like red meat, pivotal for your heart. Statin drugs deplete your body of coenzyme Q10. There are 5 factors for significantly reducing your risk of heart disease. Don't smoke, limit alcohol, moderate to vigorous exercise each day, eat low glycemic foods, low sugar foods, and a diet with plenty of omega-3 fats. The fact, yes fact, lower cholesterol levels has almost no effect on extending life. It is simply ignored by those who profit enormously by keeping you in the dark. When the National Cholesterol Education Program scored the optimal cholesterol levels in 2004, 8 out of 9 folks on that board had financial ties to the pharmaceutical industry. Most of the manufacturers of statins, cholesterol-lowering drugs. Cholesterol is needed for proper brain function. Triglycerides to HDL ratio is one of the best predictors of both heart disease and insulin resistance. Triglycerides divided by HDL, you want that number around 2 or less. Those with a high ratio, 16 times greater risk for heart disease. Now, did I piss you off because you disagree or because you didn't know this was true?
All right, y'all, sound off. Which pissed off did you get? Pissed off because you think it's a bunch of baloney, or pissed off because you didn't know that? And if you've been here for any amount of time, you should know I talk about this quite regularly, so you should actually know this already.
I cannot believe I'm seeing this on the news. Y'all, just today, swarm of UFOs spotted near Indiana Air Force Base where 20-mile-long mothership was detected weeks ago. The news is telling you there's a freaking mothership above y'all. And it's crazy because a week ago I told you guys the second moon was not a second moon, but a mothership. But let's be honest, we all knew that this was coming, right? I hope that we all know that this is on the way. And for all the people out there who say there's no life on other planets, here's a fly on Mars. That's a joke. I hope y'all got that. This really was a picture from Mars. And trust me, they want you to believe that these things are on the way from outer space. This is a live stream from NASA where they zoomed in at the North Pole and saw UFOs. Why would this be on their live stream? Doesn't make sense, right? But all year, right, we had the Olympics, we had Miami Mall, and the Super Bowl, all showing aliens. Maybe that's the surprise for November.
I am looking forward to a November surprise. If that's what the November surprise is going to be, let's have it. I hadn't seen that footage before. I don't know that that's actually from NASA's stuff, but that's pretty neat. As far as the first part, check this out.
Yeah. Whoa! I didn't even see that. There's another one right here.
I know.
So that was the aliens seen at the Indiana Air Force Base. But I'm pretty sure that was just a military exercise. They like fly over and drop these flares that do something. I'm not 100% certain of what it is. It's a training exercise. I don't know what it's for because I've never been in the military. I just know that that's what they're doing.
Catherine, popular podcaster Joe Rogan is also now tweeting after his interview with former President Trump, saying the Harris campaign offered for her to come on the podcast, but only for an hour and not in studio. Rogan writes, I strongly feel the best way to do this is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is just to have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being.
That is so crazy that her campaign got in touch with Joe Rogan and said, okay, but you come here and it can only be an hour and a half. I really want to see her sit down and talk with Joe Rogan. He's not going to ask her any heavy hitters. He just wants to talk to her like a person, just like he did with Trump. It was a very personable conversation, and I'd love to see that. I'd love to see her not campaigning. See if she can do that. See how she is as a person. Nobody's actually seen her be a person. She is a product of politics, and that is all anybody has ever seen.
Well, we just found out, folks, that Joe Rogan tweeted that the Harris campaign actually wants to do an interview with him, but due to scheduling, they only have an hour and would have to be in D.C. And Joe Rogan said no. He was like, I feel like we can only have a real conversation if we're in my studio in Austin, and and I just, like, for my schedule, I don't want to travel. Hey, Joe, she's the vice president of the United States. Get on a goddamn plane and go interview her. We've done the Trump interview, so now you owe it to your audience to give them the other side. And you don't have the power dynamic here, buddy. Like, the Vice President of the United States does. Today is 1 week from the election. She's already got events planned and scheduled. Get on a plane and go meet her wherever she is. Add your disclaimers about you wanting more time and whatever, and this wasn't the format you wanted. But if you want to play with the big boys, Joe, you got to bend a little bit sometimes. You'll likely get the largest audience you've ever had because there are tons of Kamala Harris supporters who, frankly, would never listen to the show unless she's on it. So this is a good idea for you. So I strongly suggest you take it.
I'd honestly like to see him go and travel for this interview as well. I think it would be great. I don't think it'll draw a bigger audience, and that is another point of view that I'm going to respect. I mean, Trump's interview right now is already at 39 million views. She thinks she can top it. I mean, hell, he should go. I think he should go.
Still voting for him?
Hell yeah.
What about your wife?
She doesn't like him, but she's voting for him.
Same with mine.
As a woman, I feel incredibly demeaned by this political ad. I'm going to vote for whoever I want to vote for. My husband's not going to tell me who I'm going to vote for. And I'm voting for the person that I think is best for our country, not because another female stood up and told me I have to vote for another female. And I think men should be seriously insulted by this as well, because it's basically saying that men try to control their wives, which in today's society is unheard of.
2 incidents involving ballot boxes this morning. We'll start with what's happening in Vancouver. That is on the left side of your screen. We just watched firefighters pry open the back of this ballot box, which is obviously on fire. We're also tracking breaking news at the Multnomah County Elections Office. That is on the right side of your screen right now, where police found an incendiary device at this ballot box. We have K2's Joe English live on the scene there, gathering new information. That is obviously taped off as police investigate that. So big concerns at least 2 ballot boxes coming just 8 days before Election Day.
An arrest in an overnight arson targeting a U.S. Postal Service blue box that went up in flames, torching more than a dozen ballots. And just into our newsroom in the last half hour, an arrest in that arson and vandalism of an official mail collection box in Phoenix. Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego posting on social media, confirming an arrest, thanking the swift action of Phoenix police and fire and federal partners. We're told the suspect is en route to booking right now.
I think it's absolutely hilarious what a huge deal people are making out of this. This happens at every election. There is always at least one ballot box set ablaze, and the left blames the right, and the right blames the left. And whoever it is, it doesn't matter. They're stupid. That's a dumb thing to do. It's not going to matter. That dozen votes that you just lit on fire, and it's dumb. But it happens every year. And it's never made into as much of a big deal as it is this time. This really is a huge election.
What if I told you it's no accident your signal dies the minute you're in one of those mega stores? Oh no, and it's not just you. People all over have been noticing this. Think about it. These companies are all in on this silent tactic. Some say they've installed tech specifically to jam signals inside their walls, all to keep you from checking other stores' prices. They know you can't resist a deal if you can't check if it's actually a deal. I mean, there's so much money at stake, and they're willing to block you out from the outside world just to make sure you stay under their fluorescent lights. But here's where it gets even crazier. A lot of folks believe that this bad signal stuff is just one phase in a bigger plan. What happens when these mega stores are no longer needed? They want us all on some sort of government-issued food program. No more shopping around, no more choice, and those massive empty buildings. That's where it gets dark. They won't be selling groceries anymore. Oh no, they'll be repurposed as holding camps for the so-called non-compliers. Once these stores are obsolete, they're perfect for housing those who don't want to play by the rules. They've got the square footage, the infrastructure, and everything to lock down large groups of people. And without the cell phone signal, it's all just too perfect. So next time you're in a mega store and your internet goes out, maybe think twice. Is it really just your phone or your service provider? Or is it the foreshadow of a much bigger plan? I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
Okay, that got dark real fast. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I thought it was just going to talk about how you can't get signal inside of the stores. But now I'm going to think about that. That's pretty crazy. But it is interesting that you can't get signal inside stores, especially Costco. You walk into Costco, it's a dead zone. There's nothing. You can't check anything. You can't even call anybody, shoot a text. Hey, do you need this? It doesn't matter. You're getting it anyway. And it sucks. And now I'm going to be thinking about people just huddled in there and wasting away.
Check this out. There's a theory. I had my mind tripping, right? Yeah. You know it's 666, number of the devil. Yeah. You ever hear the theory about it? Wait. What it actually means? No. Number 666 is pretty much decoding to give permission to evil forces to do anything. Really? Okay. So watch this.
Figured out the mark of the beast, but I'm going to have to teach you computer science in order to explain it. The first thing I'll say is everyone's wrong. I don't think anyone's ever seen this before. When I say I figured it out, I feel like God gave it to me. I don't mean to take credit for it. I used to code Linux servers for fun, and one of the things you learn is how to set file and folder permissions. A folder is just a vessel that gets filled with things. If you were particular about who could put things in the folder and who couldn't, and who is allowed to read those documents in the folder or not, and when you configure these permissions, it's expressed in a 3-digit number, in this case 644. When you open up all read and write permissions to the entire world, you get 666. Obviously, you recognize that number as the mark of the beast. What you might not know is the name of God, Emmanuel, is 644.
I think the real mark of the beast is going to turn out to be zeros and ones.
Hello, I'm Ted Pike, and this is my wife, Alin. Today, a foreign government, Israel, operates the most powerful lobby in Congress. This is AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Through control of Congress, Israel demands and gets nearly $5 billion annually. No elected official dares criticize Israel for fear the Jewish lobby will accuse him of anti-Semitism, the kiss of death for any politician. The president also knows what Israel wants, Israel gets. To act otherwise is political suicide. The mass media, founded and controlled primarily by Jews, manipulates the spigot of information out of which heartland America drinks. The message of this contaminated source is, if you criticize Israel, you are anti-Semitic. Be safe, keep your head down, or you are fair game for being knocked off by the Zionist shooting gallery.
As a result, our president and elected officials are slaves to political correctness when it comes to Jews and Israel. They cannot seriously criticize Israel, especially as the source of Mideast strife and terrorism. They cannot suggest an end of aid to Israel. They cannot even protest Zionist control of Congress.
That was pretty deep and pretty factual, really. You can't say anything against the Jews, otherwise you're an anti-Semite. Oh no, that's the true mark of the beast right there, apparently.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
Yeah, there's more than one. I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. And it's not because I don't like Kamala Harris. It's because I don't like feeling like they're treating me like a victim. Like I'm a victim as a woman. I'm a victim. And because I'm a victim, I need to vote for Harris. And I think that's wrong. I think that's the wrong way to approach it.
Hey, we heard that Nazis were supposed to be here. That's what Hillary Clinton said. So we out here to see. Have you seen a Nazi today?
We are the Nazi party. Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm white though. I'm
the Nazi right here. Yes.
Yeah.
Dominican Nazi.
Dominican Nazi.
Latina
Nazi. We got.
Oh, I'm the black Nazi.
Black Nazi.
The biggest blackest Nazi you ever seen in your life.
I'm the Jewish Nazi.
The Jewish Nazi. And listen, I'm the cool Nazi.
I'm the white Nazi.
I'm Mr. Cool himself. He out here, baby.
He's the white
My
Nazi.
white Nazi.
And he's the white Nazi.
White Nazi. He's the
We are all united here to make Donald J. Trump the 47th president of the United States.
Stop listening to the media.
Absolute hate. It's just hate. They're pushing hate. The left is pushing hate. I can't believe that they call Trump rallies these Nazi congregations. It's insane. Everybody is entitled to vote for who they want to vote for. And to call everybody that wants to vote for Trump a Nazi, that's low. That is low. I think that falls under the heading of fear-mongering.
Everyone over the age of 40 on cholesterol-lowering medication, yeah? Are you ready for the side effects? Dementia, muscle wasting, Alzheimer's, memory loss, and they've just added another one, breast cancer. I'll tell you a story to illustrate. I had a lady and a man attend my programs in New Zealand. I think that was about 2 years ago. They were in their early 70s. Tuesday night, I spoke on heart disease where I revealed what's happening with cholesterol. They came to me on Thursday. They said, we need to talk to you. I said, yes. The man looked at his wife and she just had her head down. He said, we're about to put my wife in aged care. He said, she was leaving the iron on. We got to the point where we won't be able to handle her. He said, we came to your lecture and we heard what the cholesterol lowering medication does. She's been on it for 10 years. It was Lipitor. There's a whole book written on the dangers of Lipitor. He said, so we stopped because they heard me say there will be a side effect to stopping Lipitor. Your memory will return. He said to me, we're on our third day, and he said, I've got my wife back. He said, we are not putting her, we did not want to, but he said it was getting so difficult, and they both had tears in their eyes. How many people are in aged care with dementia and Alzheimer's and memory loss, and it's the cholesterol-lowering medication? I believe personally this verges on criminal.
I wish I knew this many years ago. My grandfather started to decline, and we moved him in with my family, and we took care of him for 7 years while the dementia just slowly took him away. And the entire time, he was on Lipitor. And I really wish that I'd known that, because he was always such a sharp man, and it's a shame. It's a shame.
Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Now, again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. It's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them.
You know, I remember a time when comedy was as God intended it, at the expense of others. Hello, it's a joke. Relax. His entire set was absolutely hilarious. And he is a roast comic, for crying out loud. What do you expect? Everybody's all getting butthurt. The left is like, oh, they're racist. No, he's expressing himself vocally, freely, as we are allowed to do with our freedom of speech. Just because you're offended doesn't make you right.
What if I told you self-checkout machines aren't just for convenience and efficiency? It's just phase one of a bigger plan. Soon you'll walk into a store and there's not a single person working there. No cashiers, no clerks, just shelves stacked with products and AI security drones hovering around. The entire store is monitored by facial recognition, tracking your every move. And here's the kicker. This isn't about giving you more choice. It's about controlling what you buy. See, you wouldn't just have a budget, you'd have these things called carbon credits. Every item you pick up, it's deducted from your yearly allowance. So, yeah, you technically can buy your very own lab-grown steak, but doing so would drain your credits for the year. That's right. One laboratory steak, and you're done. Goodbye to any other luxury foods for the next 12 months. They'll frame it as saving the planet or encouraging sustainable choices, but it's just a game to keep you in line. You'll only have enough credits to buy the foods they decide are environmentally friendly. Want to splurge on something out of the ordinary? Better be prepared to eat nothing but Soylent Green until next year. People think they're choosing to use self-checkout right now, but soon it'll be the only option. And the store, just a series of aisles monitored by AI. One step out of line or pick up something you're not allowed to buy, and those drones will know. And not only that, they'll shut down your payment chip for the week. They've created an illusion of choice where you're always picking from what they deem acceptable. Your menu, decided for you. Your groceries, pre-approved based on your personal carbon limit. So next time you check out your groceries on your own, remember, it might just be the first step towards a future where you don't decide what goes in your cart. They do. I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
We are going to be hearing some more stuff from this particular person. I didn't realize I had 2 clips from them, and I'm already in love with the stuff that they have to say. So we're going to hear some more of that stuff. That's like some New World Order crap right there, isn't it? And it wouldn't surprise me if that's the way that's the way it is now. They've already said this is the stuff that we deem appropriate for you to eat, even though it's crap. But that's kind of how it's going. And they're like, oh, you have money. You can buy things, but you don't have that much money, so you can't buy too many good things. Huh. It's already happening, isn't it? Well, I guess that's it for me today. Tomorrow's Halloween, so everybody be safe. Have a great time. Don't forget to check your kids' candy, because those Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, they're for you. And as usual, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please come on back in a couple days. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Remember Hillary? She said deplorable. And then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable. That didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know. You have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said.